All right, boys and girls, welcome to our first all-school assembly of the 2019-20 school year. It's good to see everybody together. How about our amazing fifth grade band students? One more big round of applause for them. Mr. Nelson, they're sounding great. Well, it's October, mid-October, and already sounding like that. I can't wait to hear the spring concert. Great job, boys and girls. Very proud of you. To start our assembly today, what we want to do is stand. I'm going to give you the magic word spelled G-O, right? When I say that word, we're going to stand together, and I'll get us started. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance like we do every morning, and then we're also going to remain standing while our fifth grade orchestra students play the Star Spangled Banner. All right, we got it? So we're going to stand for the pledge and Star Spangled Banner. Go. All right, everybody's up. Flag is over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. That makes my year that you guys did that. Our 4B's pledge to our guests: be kind, be respectful, be responsible, be safe, our school values. That is awesome. I have the goosebumps now, so very, very cool. So I'll turn it over to our orchestra for our Star Spangled Banner. Boys and girls, thank you very much. Go ahead and have a seat where you're at. Fifth grade orchestra students, amazing job. Thank you very, very much. Proud of you. Yeah, another round of applause. Going down the tunnel. All right, boys and girls, if I could have your eyes on me, voices are off and ears are on. I know this is our first assembly, and I know that your teachers have talked to you about what our expectations are. So we're going to show all our special guests how great of an audience we are. I really appreciate that before we get started. All right? So I said this was our first assembly of the 2019-20 school year. It's actually the first time we've had all these people in one room at Radio Park in almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. And the reason for that is we had different parts of our building under construction. We didn't have a space that was big enough to come together as a school. And it is good to have the pride back together. It is good to have the family back together. We're the mini lions, right? We're the mini lions, right? So we know that a pride is a family of lions. And families take care of each other. They look out for each other. They protect each other. They care for each other. You know what else they do? They celebrate when something's really exciting together. So let me hear you if you love our new school. All right, boys and girls, lots of enthusiasm. I appreciate it. So, hey, remember, if we do some cheering and loud noises hurt your ears, you can still participate, but cover those ears. And I'll give you a warning if we do anything like that. I should have before, okay? So if that bothers you, you can always cover your ears to help. To help us celebrate, we have lots of special guests. We have school board members, our superintendent. He's my boss up here in the front, right? We have special guests, everyone who helped design the building, helped build the building. So just a quiet wave at all our guests to welcome them. Quiet wave. Awesome. Very, very friendly. Now, before I introduce some of our special guests and they speak to us, I want to say thank you. So eyes and ears. Eyes and ears. This is really super important because I want to take advantage of the opportunity to thank everyone together in one room. I'm a little bit biased, but I strongly believe that Radio Park has the best teachers, the best staff, and the best students in the entire universe. I think every principal should believe that about their school. And going through a construction process is not easy. The process is worth it, right? The beautiful school that we now have. But going through that over 2 years is not easy. And I think back and I remember teachers packing up 2 or 3 times. I see teachers shaking their heads at me, right? To move to different locations. I remember walking into classrooms and students are learning there's bulldozers outside the window. And you guys are making it look like it's not even bothering you. All right? I remember having to go to the middle school because our elevator didn't work. Right? I have lots of different memories about how tough it was. So I would like to sincerely thank all the faculty, all the staff, and all the kids because you handled it with grace and you made a difficult process look easy, and that's not easy to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And again, the people, I say this all the time. You've heard me say this before. It's the people who make a school. A brand new gym, all the other things that go with a brand new building are awesome. They're wonderful. But it's the people who make a school amazing. And Radio Park is simply amazing. But I'm not going to lie, it's really nice to have a building that matches the excellence of the people in it. So to our community, our school board, our leadership and central office, on behalf of Radio Park, thank you for making this possible, and we are very, very excited for the opportunity to teach and learn in this new facility. So let's give a round of applause to our special guests and all the people who helped make this project happen. All right, boys and girls, at this time, I would like to introduce Dr. O'Donnell. Dr. O'Donnell is our superintendent of schools. So he's my boss. He oversees all the schools, right? So round of applause for Dr. O'Donnell.
Good afternoon. I was going to ask you how many of you like this new school, but you already answered Mr. Weinkoop, and I don't want to break that lovely glass over there. I got to tell you that when Mr. Weinkoop talked about people and how people make schools, I think he's absolutely correct. And you're very fortunate to have a principal like Mr. Weinkoop. So I want you to right now put your hands together and give it up for Mr. Weinkoop. He's a big key in the staff in trying to make this a wonderful place for you every day. And I'm thrilled to be here with you today. Can you believe the old Radio Park building was a little bit more than 50 years old? Yeah, a little bit older than me. It was time to fix things up a little bit. It is probably older than your parents, yeah. It needed a few things fixed up, and to see all the wonderful spaces that were created and improved. I know as superintendent of schools and also a parent of kids, all the wonderful things you're learning in all these new spaces. So I'm incredibly excited to see the improvements made here at Radio Park. I have to say that my favorite part of the new building, there are many, that are pretty awesome, but other classrooms. I was a math teacher when I was a teacher, and I'm jealous of the really cool spaces in the classrooms. I have 3 kids that went to Radio Park, and I brought them over here the night before the first day of school this year, and we were in this very gym. And the youngest, his name happens to be Ryan, I had to pry him out of this room because he thought this was the coolest gymnasium he's ever been in. Right now, I'd like to thank a few of our special guests that are with us today that were instrumental in carrying out the plan to fix up your school and add these really nice new spaces. So first, raise your hand if you've seen some construction workers around here. They helped build this new place, and they're the people that drive those really cool big trucks and make things happen. So what I'd like you to do now, all the physical plant staff, construction management, construction representatives, please wave at the kids. Look back here, and you're going to see some of the most important people behind the scenes. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't have a little jingle like your teachers do to bring you back. I'll call in for some relief. So during my years as a parent here at Radio Park, I got to know a lot of the people here through that role as well as my role in the district. And so I have a sense firsthand of how great the people are here. Our teachers, their helpers, the cafeteria staff, the custodians, the office staff, all the people in this building who as well as Mr. Weinkoop, who make things happen on a daily basis. And as Mr. Weinkoop said, they worked through all the ups and downs and moves over the past couple of years to make this become a reality. So let's give them a real big thank you. Yep. And I saved the best thank you for last. So I want to thank you guys for being such a wonderful student body here and buying into all the things that we do here and our expectations. It warmed my heart when you finished up the pledge a little bit earlier. But there's about 400 of you, and I can't thank you all. So you're going to actually help me give you a pat on the back. So I want you to put one hand out as far as you can, stretch it out right in front of your head, and then reach all the way over and give yourself 3 pats. There you go. Get her done. Thank you very much. That was pretty awesome. I could see that we have some needs in the area of mathematics because I said 3. So finally, we have some members of our school board with us, and they are representatives from our community, and they are also my boss. And we need people who represent our community to make important decisions, including the decision to build you this wonderful new school. So I'd like you to join me in thanking them as I welcome to the microphone our board's president, Ms. Amber Concepcion.
Thank you, Dr. O'Donnell, and thank you, Radio Park. Hello, everyone. I agree, this is such a special day. All of us on the school board are so glad that we get to help celebrate this beautiful new school with you. Wow, your new school really is so nice. Now, I know that all of you had to be very patient with all this construction at your school. Thank you for hanging in there. I do hope it was fun to watch all the trucks moving and the new building being built all around you. I am so grateful for the many people who made all of this possible, but I want to give some special thanks to the school board directors who are here with me. They're over there. They cared so much about designing the best possible school for you, and they're so happy today for everyone at Radio Park. So I'm going to give a thank you to Dr. Amy Bader, Miss Lori Bedell, Miss Gretchen Brandt, Dr. Dan Duffy, Mr. Scott Fazzard, Mr. David Hutchinson, Mr. Jim Leas, and Miss Laurel Zidney. They're not all able to be here, but they are so excited for your new school. So I I'd like to thank all of the Radio Park families for all of their patience during this project and the community for its support. Did you know that families all across our town care so much about making sure that you have a great school? I'm proud to represent people who care about schools and learning and who care about you and care about you getting to learn in a school as nice as Radio Park. To all the teachers and staff members who have supported our students while working in a construction zone, a huge thank you is in order. I hope you enjoy the new year, and I hope you always remember when you got to move into your brand new school. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Donnell and Mrs. Concepcion. We certainly appreciate your leadership throughout this process. Boys and girls, we have 2 more speakers. The next speaker, I was asked to have a teacher represent our school and speak at this ceremony. And no offense to other teachers, but the decision was pretty easy. This teacher has had kids go to Radio Park. This teacher has been a part of Radio Park's PTO. This teacher goes above and beyond all the time for all the kids in this school. And they're pointing at you, Mrs. Ford. Come on out. Mrs. Ford is our teacher speaker. She's going to share a few words.
All right, boys and girls, now, you know I can come into your classroom at any time and ask you to do different things, and the so wonderful thing about it is that then you will do it. So I'm just going to give you one quick reminder before I read my 2 minutes worth of words. Sabati and Gara, got it? Okay, hold on to that. You know what I'm going to do when. All right, pay attention. Here we go. Greetings to all our honored guests, all my school colleagues, and to all of you, blessed, blessed children. 56 years ago, almost to the day, a similar group of people, officials, teachers, and children gathered for a cornerstone laying when they tucked like the last big block into the outside of the building. They were laying that cornerstone for the new Radio Park Elementary School that many years ago. It was born in a farm field near a radio tower, and it was on the outskirts of town. In the time capsule that those children assembled, they wrote of a world poised to put men into outer space. Did they do it? Yep, we've done it. They also wrote about in that time capsule cornerstone pieces of paper, they also wrote, maybe one day cars will drive themselves. Do they do it? Wow, how did these kids know what was going to happen in the future? But they also, in that cornerstone, had lots and lots of words about what they liked best about their school. And over I read, lunch and recess. You've got it. That's right. So fast forward then about 30 years from then and 30 years back from now, that's when my kids came to Radio Park. So I sent them a text. Back then those kids wouldn't have even known what a text was, but you guys do. And I sent my kids a text and I said, what do you remember about being a student at Radio Park? And this is what they told me. They remembered classroom plays about Anansi the spider. They liked making United States seed maps. They remembered Mrs. Shu's music classes and the structure in 3rd grade. They also remembered the instrumental room dungeon, the kindergarten circus in the all-purpose room, and the ramp. They knew that if you had a classroom up the ramp, you were the big kids. Now we'll go upstairs instead of a ramp. But they remembered all those things, and I'm sure that you're going to be creating memories too. While those memories happened within the walls of the old building, though, it was those shared special experiences, the things that they got to do as a class, things that made it fun, but also educational. We are so fortunate, you are so fortunate to live in a town where the big people make decisions about where you can go to school and to put money into these kinds of facilities. It doesn't happen everywhere, kids. It just doesn't happen. We want to also, though, make sure that not only as teachers, we need to teach you, we need to give you information, but we also want to make sure, are you guys getting ready? We also want to make sure that not just your brain is working, but that your whole body is feeling good. We care. And look around the outskirts of this room, and you look at all of these teachers. You've had them in grades before you are now, and some of you are just starting up. But these people, these adults, care for you so much, and they want to make sure that you are well. So as I thought about this a little bit more, what do I want as to be my message to you? Is I want to give you the feeling to share with you that we care. This new building makes it a lot easier sometimes. But I'm going to ask you a question now, and it's in the words, supposedly, of the Maasai warriors. And their question to you is, Kasarian Ingara. Wait. Kasarian Ingara. And that means, are the children well? I know that we can reply, though, to that question, Kasarian Ingara, Sapati Ingara, the children are well. One more time, Kasarian Ingara, and indeed you are, and we'll help you stay that way. Thanks so much for being a good audience. It probably went over.
Nice job. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Very nice job with that. Very nice, boys and girls. I love seeing that. One more speaker for you. We definitely wanted a student to speak, and it made sense to choose a fifth grader, but how do you choose out of 60-some fifth graders? What we did is we asked anybody that was interested to submit their name, and we randomly picked somebody. And we have a student who has really worked hard to prepare her remarks. Lucky enough to have with us Dasha Nekrutenko. I got it right? Dasha, would you come forward and say a few words?
Thank you. Hello. How's everybody? So I wrote a speech about what this school means to me, and I just chose basically the most important things because I couldn't choose all of them. That would be a much too long list. So, I would like to tell you what this beautiful new school means to me. It is a happy place for me to learn many things and meet new people. It provides me with an opportunity to learn and have fun at the same time. It has wonderful subjects like physical education, music, art, and STEM. It also encourages the love for reading. As you all know, this school has been remodeled and renovated over the last 2 years. This new building provides a modern structure with a large new gym, along with a beautiful new library. Another great thing is that it actually has air conditioning, unlike the old school. For the rest of the year, I'm looking forward to many things like field trips, more author visits, and many, many more experiences. But what I will remember the most about Radio Park are the nice, helpful, and caring teachers. I'm really sad that this is my last year here, and I hope all of you have the same or an even better experience than I have had at all my years at Radio Park. I would like to thank everyone that made this such a fantastic experience for me. From my friends to my teachers, from the lunch ladies to the office staff, from the interns to the counselors, from the nurses to the PTO, from the janitors to Mr. Weinkoop. Once again, thank you for making this school so wonderful. It would be nothing without you all.
Good job.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, boys and girls. Dasha, that was outstanding. Thank you so much. That takes a lot of courage. You did a wonderful job. All right, before we get to a fun part, the ribbon cutting ceremony, and I'll explain that in a second. I didn't know if we were going to have this special guest today until right before we got started, so I hope it's okay to put you on the spot. I didn't tell him I was going to do this. Mr. Carpenter, do you mind coming up here? He's like, oh, no, I'm going to get this guy back, right? So, yeah, give him a round of applause, right? So, boys and girls, this is super, super cool. Mr. Carpenter was the principal at Radio Park a little bit before I was, right? What years were you principal at Radio Park?
83 to 93, last century.
Pretty cool, right? So does Radio Park look a little bit different than it did back then?
Nothing like it did back then, except the kids look the same.
That's what matters most, right? Let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Carpenter for being able to come back and visit us. Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. All right, boys and girls, we are going to move to our ribbon cutting ceremony. Yeah, you can cheer, right? Now, hey, 4Bs, I need eyes, I need ears on, I need voices off. This is really important. I want you to listen to this. It is tradition to cut a ribbon when you open a new building. It symbolizes a new beginning. It symbolizes a fresh start. It's kind of like opening a present, right? When you have the ribbon on it and you cut it and you see what's inside. I will never forget when you boys and girls came in the first day of school and the look on your faces when you saw your new school. That was a gift that I'll never forget. So we are going to do this right? We're going to cut the ribbon. We're going to officially open Radio Park the right way. And to help us do this, we have a teacher from each grade level and a student from each grade level. Now, so you can hear me, I want you to listen to all names. I'm going to start with kindergarten through 5th grade. And teachers and students, when I call your name, Mrs. Moore is going to give you some scissors to the adult. You're going to stand on this side. And then together, I don't want you to cheer until the end. Together, we're going to do a 10-second cut down, and we're going to cut the ribbon, everyone together. Does that make sense? All right, thank you. I really appreciate it. So for kindergarten, again, we're going to hold applause, okay? We're going to hold applause. For kindergarten, we have Mrs. Isola, and our student rep is Asher Ali. For 1st grade, we have Mrs. Miller, and our student representative is Cora Wallace. For 2nd grade, we have Mrs. Robert and Nakala Balachandran. For 3rd grade, we have Mrs. California and Sinai Perkate. So much for the cheers at the end. It's okay. For 4th grade, we have Ms. Job and Henrik Delatry. And for 5th grade, we have Ms. McLaughlin with Sarah Yang.
Get a picture here. And 9.
Boys and girls, it is official. We have officially opened Radio Park. Teachers and students, thank you so much. I think you'll probably keep a piece of that ribbon as a memory. So last thing. Now, hey, boys and girls, eyes and ears. Eyes and ears, up here. Some of you are getting a little too loud, okay? Remember, we have to do this the right way. I know you're excited, but when we cheer, we can't be too loud. All right, because that can hurt other people's ears. So please make sure it's a loud and proud of volume 3, right? Remember, 4 is only for outside, even at assembly. So lots of 3s at a loud and proud is a lot of noise, and that's okay, but we can't get too carried away with it. Quiet thumbs up if you can do that for me. I appreciate that. The last thing we're going to do, we're going to end in a fun way. Teachers and students, thank you. You guys can head back. We have a special song, and the band is going to model it for us, and then after we hear how it goes, we are going to participate in some Radio Park Pride. So, Mr. Nelson, you're just going to roll with it? All right, so I want you to listen, and I want you to listen to the chant that they do, because we're going to do it in a second. So, eyes and ears. So the RP Pride, Radio Park Pride, RP Pride. So we're going to do it. Now listen, it has to sound good. Everybody together, right? So RP Pride, I think we got it after one listening. Are we ready to go? Let's try. How many times are we going through, Mr. Nelson? 2 times through. Are we ready? Do we have this? We got to end strong. You ready? All right. All right, 4B's up, 4B's up. I want everybody's eyes. Ears are on, voices are off. Boys and girls, it is time to head back. It's 2:30, teachers, by the way. I'm right on schedule. Write it down, mark it down. We're good, right? Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin. So we're on schedule. That's a good thing. Boys and girls, up here, up here, up here. We are going to dismiss starting in the back. You stay seated until your teacher gives you the symbol to stand, and it looks like this. When your teacher asks you to rise, you'll stand, and you'll safely go back to your classrooms. Thank you, boys and girls. Have a great rest of the day.